Right, so we're going to talk about shoulders for a minute. Oh, this is Coach Rowe, Cleveland, Ohio. So shoulders, whether what we may call frozen shoulder, we call it shoulder problems. Frozen shoulders, they don't move ideally, they don't have an ideal range of motion, or they don't move without pain. One of those. So we have shoulder problems. You can use the word impingement, whatever it is stopping the shoulder from moving ideally. So generally, most joint issues, or especially shoulders, they get better with a combination of flexibility, range of motion, flexibility, and strength. That's what they need. So meaning a person may not have the strength to raise their arm above their head, but they should. So for some reason, if we can't, we know that we should be able to. That's the goal that we're going for. If it's pain that's stopping you, then yeah, that baby's bad. So we have to work on that. We have to get it to do what it should be able to do. So that's the goal. We want it to do what it should be able to do based on what we know. So I'm just going to do it. So this shoulder in particular, I think I've dislocated this 2-3 times. I dislocated this shoulder 2 or 3 times. This one maybe twice throughout my life. This one still has a pain when I'm doing heavier weight. I don't know. I can't get it to go away. Maybe I might have missed my boat on that one. So, but we're going to start with 2 of the easiest ones. One range of motion one. Okay, so first of all, there are times you know your shoulder's in pain. Well, I did, and many other people do. Nighttime, when you're sleeping, when the elbow goes below the shoulder and you're sleeping, and it stays that way for a period of time, then pain starts to set in while you're sleeping, and you have to wake up and make some kind of adjustment to take the pain out. So I ended up having to prop my shoulder, my elbow, and I learned this through injuries, having to keep my elbow at shoulder height when I'm in a laying position. Now, absolutely, oddly enough, this works better with trying to get a simple range of motion. And if one range is to be able to, am I in a good spot? Yeah. To be able to up, down. And hopefully it's pain-free, but in the beginning, in the healing process, it was extreme pain. So this wasn't happening. It wasn't happening at all. So it was one of the smallest movements to do. Now, if you take the pillow out, my shoulder doesn't make it all the way. It should make it to the table without me forcing it down. Now, I can force it down. It doesn't hurt. But it shouldn't make it to the table with no effort. That should be the range. Here with no effort, here with no effort. And depending on how you rotate your hand, I should be able to make it thumb down to the table. I should be able to make it back of the hand down to the table. Should. And I used to go for pinky down. Pinky was my hardest range of motion. It was impossible. We used to rotate this down. That pinky would stop all the way up here. It was nowhere near that. The range was terrible. There was too much damage inside the shoulder between the rotator. The immense amount of pain here. Now the pain sits here. So anyway, going back here, this is a good exercise that we'll go for. This is in the beginning. If the pain is extreme, you won't be able to do it. If it's not too bad, this is one of our first tests. And trying to get athletically, I'd want to be able to move this quickly without pain. That was the speed I had to go for athletically. So next, a little bit of strength motion. So the little bit of strength next. It's not a cat. My friend would say that's like a yoga cat. It's not a cat. What we're going for, and it's up to you what we do with our toes. Eventually we're going back. So you may want to be on the toes. You may want to be on your toes as opposed to flat, but flat is fine too. So in this case, what we're going for is strength, rounding our back. This is like pushing up off of the table. So this push up, you don't have to bend your elbows. You really want to keep your arms straight so you can concentrate on the rear of the shoulder, rear of the delts. So here, I said delts, I meant shoulders. So we're squeezing, kind of rounding at the shoulder here. Squeezing, rounding up. If the shoulder's in pain, this is a big strength. If there's a pinch or things that need to be released, this is a good start. We're trying to find out what's holding it back. So rounding here at the shoulder, relax the head. Do not hold the head up. Relax the head and down and back up and down and back up. When we feel good, we're going to add movement to it. We normally go back first. Forward is normally too much pressure. So we'll go back. We go back at whatever level we can take it. But trying to keep the hands flat so we get the extension. Back on top, squeezing up, coming back. Back on top, squeezing up, come on back. Now, as there's no pain in this, we add variation. Say if this was the bad shoulder, I'll vary it and I'll put it in front and come back. I'll lean on it, coming in front. I'll start varying what I can do to get more out of this. So it'll be the same motion of squeezing up, but with the hand in different positions. Then when I was convinced, I did go forward. I did lean a little forward. See if it commands you. In the beginning, I could not manage this pain. It was too painful and I had to come out of the movement. So it's a trial and effort. So between the two, the version of squeezing, I would squeeze and lean. I would arch my back, lean left or right, trying to get it to be what I need it to be. But between those two were a good start. But for the most part, if we're here, it's a trial and error. We may add resistance, we might add a resistance. If there's pain still in either one of those, if there's pain in the movements, adding resistance is not a good idea. Heavy weight doesn't heal fast. A heavy weight on a damaged area doesn't heal faster. The odds are to do more damage. So it's a trial and error. We get here, we work it out, and we go from there. I appreciate everybody. Call, write. We're here in Cleveland, Ohio. And yeah, that's